was the forest forbidden? The very word was unmentionable. Yet everybody knew it was out there. Otherwise, how could children scare each other with whispered stories of what might be in the forest? Gigantic sticky buds, striped man-eaters, slithery poison. Their imaginations ran wild in a tamed world. But as each child reached maturity and passed, or failed, the ritual test, the word forest disappeared from the new adult's mind, like a leaf dropping in autumn. Mielitta had tried to ask adults why the forest was forbidden, but the word tied her tongue in tangled roots, and instead she found herself asking the way to the schoolroom or some other question so ludicrous that she was mocked for her stupidity. She sensed magecraft twisting her words, but she could not force a different path from the one required of good citizens. Now she was the only child who'd seen 18 year cycles and still been told she was not ready for testing. Her old playmates moved around the same halls as she did, girls in silken robes, boys in leatherette jerkins and long trews, while she still wore a tabard over a child's short breeches and stuffed her hair into the coarse netting of a servant's ugly snood. Flowers, thought Mielitta, as 3 girls in gowns like satin petals rustled past her. Grace, Felicity, and Espoir had turned into a golden daffodil, a blue pansy, and a violet campanula, respectively. Mielitta knew these flowers from the books in the library, which she was tasked with cleaning each week. She remembered when the golden daffodil used to play leapfrog against the stable wall, and when the violet campanula had linked pinky fingers with her, swearing friendship forever. But even then, her finding had set her apart. All the other children had been born in the Citadel, not discovered as a baby by the mage smith. She would always be a foundling, a freak. "The stones be with you, Lady Grace, Lady Felicity, Lady Espoir," murmured Mielitta, lowering her eyes. Barely nodding slender necks, expressions stonier than the walls they passed, the ladies swished past in silence, the better to ignore such a freak. Had they forgotten her when they reached maturity? Or did they prefer to forget their broken promises made by childish pinky fingers? As the chirruping gossip started up again behind her, Mielitta was warned of a potentially worse encounter by the brown scent of peat, a metallic clank, and rumbling voices. She shrank into the shadows of an alcove, held her breath. Whichever route she took from her bed to the kitchen, there was always the risk of meeting Jannlou and his cronies. She willed herself invisible, wishing she had the powers to really be so. Children entertained each other with such stories, and the book she read in the library, while she was supposed to be working, tantalized her with magical possibilities for every citizen. But adults never spoke of such powers outside magecraft. It wasn't a banned subject like the forest, more like a pointless train of thought, as if magecraft was the privilege of the chosen few, controlled, and those who lacked it were unimportant. Whereas the forest was dangerous. How Mielitta knew this, she couldn't say. She just did. In the same way she knew that people like her had no magecraft, and people like Jannlou did. "My father says we must strengthen the walls of the western keep." His voice was deep and echoed in its confident authority, but Mielitta knew the speaker was her own age. They had not linked pinky fingers as children, and if anything had been sworn, it was eternal enmity. Mielitta had no idea why Jannlou wanted to make her life a misery. It was just another fact of her cursed life